We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Toe the Line with me, George Glinsky. Delighted today to be joined once again by Mr. Dan McGraffin, who fights Maxime Bellamy at BKB 28 on the 3rd of September. Dan, how are we doing?
Delighted, George. What a word. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, very good. Obviously, I was down there at the weekend. We were supposed to get this done in person, as with John, but we had a bit of a messy weekend. It was a different type of weekend for myself. We went down to see the unlicensed boxing, but we had a great time, to say the least. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about your last fight, Daniel Lerwell. It was an incredible night. You stopped the KO artist at his own game in the first round. Just wondering how you're feeling now that you've processed it and you're able to look back at that fight and develop it in your mind.
How am I feeling now? Well, I'm supposed to be preparing for another fight on, so it sort of like took the line away. I took this fight way too early. I think I was still on a high. Honestly, I messaged him the next day, messaged him the next day, I said, what's next? He's like, I've arrested you, man. I says, nah, honestly, what's next? But I was flying. I was still flying. In my post-fight interview with you, that's the last time we done an interview. Mate, I was high as fuck there on whatever I was on there. Adrenaline's a mad thing, isn't it? Because I don't remember much. I remember the whole fight, but the period after the fight, it's just a pure blur. Even back, you get me wraps cut off and that, it's all a blur. It's that buzzing. But yeah, it took me weeks to come down off that. And obviously it's been riding along since. I had the James English podcast, which was then talking about what I had done then and stuff. So it's been like a constant talk about it. So I still feel as though I'm flying high at the minute when I should be preparing for a fight.
Yes,
in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, but it's a weird come down. I think you've been in the national press as well. Of course, you've had a lot of people talking to you about that fight, and do you feel like you just haven't had that time to process it? You've, as you say, you've sort of, I don't know if the word rushed would be right. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, I haven't had time to process it. I have had plenty of time to process it. I just wanted to fight again. I always want to fight. And then it's not until I'm halfway through the camp, because it's not the fight that does you, it's the camp. Yeah. The camp does you. So after the fight, you've took no damage. My hands are sound. I think they were landed about 2 or 3 shots on us, which I'll be honest with you, mate. He hit me about here. I had a bit of a lump here the next day, and I remember, do you know when you have them split second thoughts in a fight? I remember thinking if that was a couple of inches lower, mate, I could have been put on my arse there, which would have made it. I thought that in between an exchange. But yeah, I got hit a couple of times, and I just thought, I can fight again, mate. I'd have fought on the last show, just gone, BKB 27. I'd have got on that if I could. Like, I was that flying from it. I'm just chasing that win every time. The feeling of what I had beating Lerwell is what I'm always chasing. Do you know what I mean? That's the drug. That's the thrill of it all.
Let's talk about the fight itself. As I say, you stopped him extremely early, dropped him early with a jab. I believe that punctured the eye, the back. I think it was the left side of the muscle. There was something in the back of the eye that went, and he struggled to recover from there. You were on him like a bulldog. You didn't let him go at all. Is that how you imagine the fight when you close your eyes? I know you do a lot of manifestation. Is that how you imagine that fight playing out?
Not really, no. I thought, I knew I was going to stop him later on. But I thought, just to see that pace I set, I will set that pace throughout the fight. If anything, I get faster. And no one's seen it yet, because the one fight what does go 3 rounds, if you watch it, we set a pace early, but then the pace goes up and up and up from me. Like, I get better going on. I've always been a slow starter. So since doing bare knuckle, I've been working on being a quick starter. So since being a quick starter, I can hold that pace and then just go through the gears from there. But I knew I was going to get him to like 4, 5, and that's where I thought, how many times can you be hit? Because I know how precise I am with gloves on. I'm without sounding like a ding. Like, I do land these shots, Same with Ben Pickles, like exactly what we drilled. It went straight through the guard and it put him on his arse and he couldn't recover from it. So I knew this was going to happen with her and I just didn't think it would happen so quick. I didn't, like, but so I hit him with the first one, which was on the outside. And do you know what? Exactly that. We drilled that. Me and John Collier drilled exactly that. Just move, because he likes to be on the inside and wants to plant his feet and get his shots off. We drill, just move, and feint. Try and draw that counter out of him. His little lean back and he comes back. Try and draw that out of him. And we drew it out of him on the first feint. And then that was it. It was just a feint jab and then walk onto a jab. And secondly, your Couture Line interview with him, when you asked him what he knew about me, he said, I know he's got a good right hand. So I said, all right, cool, watch me do it with me left then. And we drilled. John had me doing drills and spars with where all I could do, fresh lad coming in, out, all I could do was jab, just jab, constantly with the jab, body jab, downstairs, whatever. Mate, John's a class coach, man. He really fucking watches the fights over and over again and comes up with perfect game plans. The Pickles game plan, that's exactly what we drilled. Double jab right hand straight down the middle. And that happened within the first 10 seconds. And then what we drilled with Lerwell happened in the first 10 seconds. And then when after that he got close and didn't he? He come in and he did, this is where he landed his combination. He landed like an uppercut left hook or something like that. And then we had a little bit of a scuffle inside and I hit him with the short uppercut and put him on his arse again. And at that point, I was in the corner. Oh no, close battery, are you back?
Yeah. Sorry,
I'm on my phone, it popped up. At that point, I thought, I've got you on the outside and I've got you on the inside. And that's why I ran at him then. I thought, don't give him any leeway now. Don't, because I know you can bang. So why? Just get on him. I did aim for the eye because I seen the cut. And I felt extremely bad the next day when I'd seen he'd actually been injured. I thought, I felt really bad. And I spoke to Dan Podmore about it. And it's funny because he said that in the interview with you, there's no friends in this game. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kill or be killed. Something like that. So if I weren't getting him out of there, he was getting me out of there. When it so definitely. It is what it is.
Definitely, but he's talking about a rematch. He's spoken about a rematch a lot. Obviously, with the fight ending the way it did so quickly, there'll be questions about whether or not he deserves it. I know he's got the fight in BYB in October against Brandon Johnson and have to come through that test first. But from your perspective, would you entertain a rematch with him?
Yeah, I would, because he deserves a rematch. He's been like one of the top 5 guys in BKB for a long time. A long time. And like I've said many times, I was a fan of his. And his style, and he's just if you're a fan of bare knuckle and you've got people knocking people out like he has, then he's going to be a big guy. Not only that, he's a likable guy. He's not a dickhead. He's a proper nice guy. So you can't. I would definitely give him the rematch, but whether or not, I wouldn't want to, because I do believe it would end exactly the same way. With no disrespect to him, I just think styles make fights, and I still move like I'm a middleweight. I mean, well, the weights are different in BKB, don't they? But I mean, like a welterweight in boxing, something, I still move like that. I still have that speed. I still have that movement. Like, I just think styles make fights, and that's just a fight that we could win. We could fight 10 times, and I'll win 10 times, because I don't hit. It's not like I pepper my shots either. I hit people and I cause damage every time. Every single time I land a shot, I'm cutting you open or I'm putting you on your arse.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, I'd definitely give him the rematch, because it's Daniel Lerman. He fucking deserves a rematch. And if he gets the win on the next one, I think that trigon suits him down to a T, to be honest with you. Not a lot of movement, like stuck in, do you know what I mean? Getting it going, because he hits like a truck. So I do think, I see this, I did watch the other guy, like, I've been doing a bit of research on him. He's a good boxer him as well. So it's going to be a good fight, that. But I do think if Lerwell can land multiple shots, so he only landed like the odd few on me. Who'd have known if he had continued, if he had got more, do you know what I mean? He could have done it. The accumulation of them could have done something, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And my chin, we spoke about my chin before, haven't we?
Yeah.
And that was the test of my chin. We tested it there.
for sure.
Chin
I mean,
check.
the David Round fight was good for that as well. You took a few
Yeah.
clean shots there.
No, I seen David the other week. He was up here. He had a medical for his upcoming fight, and he gives a buzz. He was like, "What you doing?" So I went to his hotel. We had a couple of drinks, and as I'm sat opposite him, I'm looking at his hand. His hands are massive. His knuckles are out here as well. And I remember looking at his hands like, "Fuck," because he hit me clean on the chin. A clean shot. It did flashes at the time as well. And I was thinking, "Fuck me!" And this is why I'm just going more and more confidence in my chin as well.
Yeah.
Maybe just the right guy hasn't hit us yet.
Well, I suppose we'll get that question answered against Maxime Bellamy. He's a young Frenchman. There isn't too much on him. He's 1-0 in King of the Streets. I saw him fighting in a field with multiple people. That was mental. I couldn't believe that. I've never seen that.
This is the footage I'm going by. This is what the promoters are giving us to train.
But that's the thing, is like, what is your expectation coming into this fight? Because you're coming in there against a guy who's clearly not, I don't want to be disrespectful to the guy, but he's not a polished fighter. He's rugged, he's raw, he's obviously very fit, durable, tough, strong. He's got all the attributes that can make him a real banana skin for you. So what is your expectations coming into this fight?
I think I'm going to stop him early as well.
Okay.
I'll be real. I haven't had the best of camp for this fight. I've had a couple of injuries, back injury and a knee injury. So that's why I've been quiet online. I've been like, you see on the last fight, it was constant videos uploading. The videos have only just started for me like a week ago because I haven't had the bestest of camp. I have been trying to take over and do something, but it's just not been the best. But then I rolled off the sofa after being bedbound. So I rolled out of bed after being on dialysis for 10 days because of these mental spasms in my back, like crazy pain. I rolled out of bed, went straight to Majestics and sparred all the lads there who were fighting on that show you just there, and John. Done 15 rounds on the day I rolled out of bed. So I thought I still do have that fitness there because I've always been known for my fitness, even in the unlicensed game. I was always known for my fitness. They were always getting really fit lads to fight us. So I do believe I hold the fitness to go. It doesn't matter about my camp. We still had a 4-week camp, which is more than enough. The sparring's quite regular now. I'm training back twice a day again, so now the injuries are done. But I do believe it's the first round again. I don't think. He's tough, and he's obviously not all there because he does that King of the Streets, which we know. To be fair, to do bare knuckle, you've got to have a couple of screws loose anyway. But to do that, you need to have even more screws loose. No, do you know what I mean? And the bit of footage I've seen from him, I think he's going to walk straight onto a shot. Okay. Let's hope there's a big language barrier and you can't watch this interview and do it. Because from what I've seen, he comes out and he just goes, hands are like here and just swings. He's obviously going to be aggressive and come forward, but I just think he's going to walk straight onto a shot. I think it'll be a Paul Hills and Bash all over again. Okay. Just exactly the same. Just he's going to run in. I'm not touching his hand either. I don't know who the fuck he is, so he's getting no touch. Lurwell got to touch because he's Daniel Lurwell. He deserves a touch. This kid's getting no touch. He's getting none of this in the ring. I'm going to stand there and wait for him to run at it, and he's going to walk onto my right hand. Wow.
What's changed in terms of going from the challenger to the champion? I know there's the famous quote from Sugar Ray Robinson, which I'm sure I'm going to mess up, but it's something along the lines of, it's hard to get up and run at 5 a.m. in the morning in silk pajamas. I mean, you've changed mentally. Everyone changes when they become a champion. Have you still got that hunger that you had when you were a contender?
I have, because I'm not done. There's a fight I want, which we can talk about. I've voiced it, he's voiced it, the promoters have spoke about it. So there's a fight I want. So that's what's keeping the hunger. Yeah, there's somebody in between now, Bellamy, because he's not ready and we're just not ready at the same time. So, yeah, this is just somebody in the way before that. I shouldn't be thinking like that. I shouldn't be, but because I've got no footage to go by, I'm like, right, okay, so just thinking about the bigger picture. I beat this guy, Anthony Holmes, by the way. I beat this guy. He's the best to me in the bigger divisions. He's beat the likes of fucking Mason Shaw, Ryan Barrett. And Ryan Barrett's a beast, mate. Ryan Barrett's a beast. And Ryan told me himself, he said, look, I'll be real with you. Holmes is a bag of tricks. He's like, he's a fucking, and that just makes me go. Just like Lurwell again. When everyone was saying to Jim was telling this, people were saying to Jim, oh, what a fucking mismatch. Are you just trying to get McGraffin beat up and blah, blah, blah? And Jim's like, no, he said, it's a fucking good fight, this. And then obviously I go out and do that.
Yeah, I mean,
I still don't think people are taking it serious. Honestly, I still don't think people are taking it serious. People need to concentrate on what I do in the ring rather than out the ring, because too many people concentrate on what I'm doing out the ring rather than in the ring. Because I'm not asked about you out the ring, but in that fucking ring, I want to take your head off. So concentrate on me boxing rather than fucking other shit. But yeah, drifting off again. Sorry.
Does a win against Anthony Holmes change that for you? Do you think that gives you perspective?
A win over Anthony Holmes. Mate, he's the man, isn't he? He's everything: power, strength, speed, footwork. He switches. He has the little Jimmy hand thing going on. I mean, he's like Brian Barrett said, he's a bag of tricks.
Yeah.
So just fight him and see what I'm made of, regardless of the fans or anybody else. To me, in my head, coming towards the end of a fight career, let's see what I've got. I believe right now I'm in my prime. I'm 34, and I think right now I'm fitter than I've ever been. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm working in the gym at the minute. I'm constantly, well, not this camp, but I'm usually constantly training. But I am, like I say, I'm back training now. It's going to be a full 4 weeks. I've had two-week camp, but forget that. Regardless, beating Anthony Holmes or even going the distance with Anthony Holmes, see what I'm made of for me mentally.
Definitely.
And if I beat Anthony Holmes, then what? Do you know what I mean? Then no one can say shit then. No one can say absolute shit, because he's beat the best out there, hasn't he?
There's not much left after that, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, there isn't much left now. then we'll see where I'm at. But I'm pretty sure that fight's going to be made anyway. Like, it's not like set, but me and him have had a little bit of banter about it at the last show. We were sat next to each other on a table, so we were like chatting for a little bit, and I'm like, as the drinks were flowing, we were both having a bit of more banter, and he's like, so I'm gonna have this fight in December, and then I'm gonna come down to 86, and I'm gonna take your belt. And I was like, you're not fucking taking my belt. So we're having this little bit. This is what I love about bare knuckle law. That's this BKB specifically. The banter you can have between each other and still be mates. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's a fight game. When we get inside the ring and the bell goes, right, then we both switch on. But before that, I'll have this fucking banter with him, mate. It's funny. I thought it was class, mate. I'm sitting there, I'm literally saying to him, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking take your head off. And he's like, I'm gonna take your head off as well. It's mint. But yeah, we've both verbally agreed to it. The promoter knows that's a fucking fight to make. Just need to get the next two fights out of the way. I've got Bellamy, and I don't know who he's got, but I'm pretty sure he's fighting in December. To my knowledge, anyway.
So it's a fight that can be set up at the end of the year, potentially, maybe even early 2023. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the end of the year, because he's fighting December, isn't he? So maybe he's like, I don't know, March, April, something like that. I want a bit of a rest after this. It's not the fights what do it to you. It's the camp.
Yeah.
It's the camp. The camp kills you. The fight's easy, especially most of my fights have been dead early. So the fight's the easy part. It's the camp. I suffer so many injuries going through camps, whether it's hands or knees or back or whatever. It's old age catching up.
I mean, let's talk about your coach, John Collier. He's fighting on the same card. I'm not sure this has ever happened in BKB before. We've had a fighter and their coach on the same card. We've had a coach with multiple fighters, which definitely conflicts the warm-up routine. But from your perspective, you're not only in a position where you might not get the greatest of warm-ups, but also you've got your coach focusing on his own camp. So how does that affect preparations in the long run, and how does that affect preparations on the night?
It has affected a little bit, because he's focusing on himself, obviously,
Yeah.
which I expect. But I knew it was coming. I initially we said we would never fight on the same card, but as things were turning out, I can't fight in like October or December, so it was looking to be September was the only card I could really get on, and he's already on it. So we had a little chat, and we thought we can still do it. It's still doable. I am still training with him, but not as much because he's busy. He's busy off sparring, and he's taking it serious. He's taking it fucking serious, mate. Like he's been out of the game a couple of years now, and I think he's seen his like. I think he's got that hunger again. He's got that fire, and he's taking it serious. So I'm not getting in as much as I would do with him. Sometimes it's non-stop, but we are still sparring. So I'm one of his main sparring partners, which is amazing for him because I'm massive. Like, does that sound like a dickhead? But you know what I mean? I'm a big guy, so him getting sparring with me, I suppose the other guy's the same. He's got what's his face as a coach? He's massive as well as me.
Yeah.
So who knows if they're sparring with each other or what? But John's taking it serious, and I'm not seeing him as much as I usually would. Anyway, he's usually like constant, like get in the gym, you fucking lazy cunt. Stop smoking weed, get in the fucking gym. What the fuck you doing? Constant. And this camp, he hasn't been like that.
Which I think you need, knowing you personally. That is definitely what you need.
I do need that. Yeah, I do need that. I mean, I get to this point of camping and start like really knuckling down. Apart from some things, like I can't get off the weed and I can't get off the drink, but I'm not the only fighter. I think I'm just the only fighter who openly admits it, but there's other fighters out there who are just the same as me. So I know, and they're beasts. They're fucking animals. So deep down, I go, you know, I can still live my lifestyle and be the world champ. I know I can. Like you were here at the weekend. You've seen how much I can sink.
Unfortunately, yes, and yes, it was a very eventful weekend. But we'll close it off because I've got the timer coming up on the screen now. Sponsors and thanks. Now I don't actually know if you have your sponsors with you because I didn't.
Don't.
Just outstanding. I should have done that. But finally, just anyone that comes to your mind, it doesn't have to be sponsored, just anyone that, you know, has helped you through this camp and you want to thank. And we can, if you don't have them, we can stick the sponsors in the description.
So we've got Stuart Pulfar, Pulfar Contractors. We've got Flying Pigs, Kieran Fitzharris up in Newcastle. He's boyo. And then we've got I don't want to lose him. Scott Gretton, SCG Construction. We've got Kingsware just jumped on board after the last one, which is going to be amazing because their walkout gear's class. So big shout to Rich from Kingsware. And then we've got Jill Perks, my physio, constantly looking after my back. She's forever needing work at the minute. Motion Focus Media. Rich from Motion Focus Media does all my videography for us. And we've got I don't want to miss anyone who's fucking paid me. Yeah, go on. I think that's about it.
Well, that's good. That's not bad for a stoner, to be fair. Usually I'd expect.
But you know what? I forgot we had this. I forgot we had that. I was sat on the joint, and then it come up 60. I know we had agreed to 6:30, and it cooked up 16:31 something. I was like, fuck. So I blitzed it off. I was like, give me a second.
Well, a very revealing interview today, Dan.
Really, I have trained twice today. I have trained twice today. So people are going to be sat there thinking like it affects us. It doesn't. I do train regardless of my lifestyle. I do.
Yeah, so a very revealing interview. So I really appreciate your transparency tonight, Dan. But as always, a pleasure speaking to you and look forward to seeing you on Fight Night.
Yeah, cool. Nice one, George.
Bye.